Cool.
All right. Good morning, everybody. So there's a new system on 2020 touring bikes called RDRS. Has anyone heard of it? Okay, perfect. So RDRS is Reflex Defensive Rider Systems. Sorry, takes you a little bit. So yes, there's a couple different features in there. So I'm going to go through all of them step by step. And if you guys have any questions, just shout out and we'll kind of have a little bit of fun. Now, again, RDRS comes on all touring bikes, but it has to come from the factory with it. So there are some 2020s that don't have it, and then there are some 2020s that do have it. So the easiest telltale sign to know if a bike has RDRS is this little button right up top of your horn. There's a little button that says TC on it for traction control. That right there will tell you if it has RDRS. This 2020 Road Glide Special does not have it. It does not have RDRS on it. Now, RDRS is it's a system that enhances what you put into it. So it's not a system that will take over your riding while you're going down the road and going through a corner or something like that. It's not going to do anything to you that you aren't already putting into the motorcycle, okay? So the first part is vehicle hold control. So this right here is probably my favorite and most simple part of it. So think if you're on a hill, you're going down, you come to a stop sign and you're stuck on a hill. Want to do me a favor? Want to just push me? Obviously, if you don't have your brake on, you're rolling backwards. Now, with a bike that has RDRS, I'm going to turn this on, guys. The bike does have to be on.
And in gear.
And in gear. So the system turn on. There we go. So all you have to do, let's say we're sitting on a hill, take your front brake, squeeze it tight. Oh. See right here, guys? There's an H has lit up on your dash. That means it's on, so go ahead and push it backwards.
It's not going anywhere.
Can't do anything.
Not pushing as hard.
Exactly. So now all you have to do to get yourself rolling again, click it. It goes away. And we're good. So again, bike has to be on, it has to be in gear. Take your front brake, squeeze it tight. Nothing. There you go. And you take right off. That vehicle hold control will actually hold you for up to 5 minutes. So if you are stuck, let's say you're sitting at that intersection, you're on the hill, you click that on, and all of a sudden an accident happens, you can sit there for up to 5 minutes. Once it rolls back again, just click it again. Or you just shut your bike off if you're sitting in track for that long. Okay? So that's vehicle hold control. The next one is your tire pressure monitoring system. So inside of your 6.5 GTS, there's a couple different screens. Obviously, there's a 4.3 system and a 6.5. And it's also available on Road Kings and doesn't have a screen, but it'll tell you. The easiest way, aside from obviously, again, it'll tell you have RDRS because you're a TC button. Any bike that has, did I roll this forward or backwards? Any bike that has a 90-degree valve stem, right here, guys?
Okay.
That will tell you right there that it has a TPMS. Meanwhile, over here on this Road Glide, it's the traditional, it comes straight out of the rim. Now, inside of the system, it'll be set by a technician saying like this is what it should be set at. And so anytime that you vary from that, and it's normal for it to vary, 4 or 3 or 4 psi, just because that's what happens when you're riding. But it'll light up on your dash that you should check that and make sure that it's up to your 40 psi front and rear. Okay, so that one's very simple. What was that? Yes, it does. Yep. So when you click through, like on your trip button, where you have your gear and RPM indicator or whatever, what have you on, depending on the bike, it'll tell you front or rear. Yep. So number 3, we have traction control. So traction control, we all know how traction control works anyway, like on a car. It's so you don't have any slippage or under wet surfaces or going through a corner or something like that. Traction control happens on accelerating. So with this traction control button, every time you turn the bike on, the traction control light will flash at you. It works just like ABS does, where under a certain speed, it's not on. See right here? Traction control and ABS. Yeah. Yep. Okay? Yeah. And ABS has another feature in here too, which we're going to hit that in a minute. But for traction control, so with this button, they give you an actual button because if you click it, there's a rain mode. So that system will actually act differently, obviously, under a rain mode than in the dry mode. So that happens. So again, let's say you're cruising down the road, you're enjoying everything. You get into a corner and you accidentally gas it. This bike is going to know that, one, you're in a corner because there's a module inside the bike called the IMU. That is your inertia measurement unit. And the inertia measurement unit will know, it'll know that you're in a corner because it's constantly adjusting. You writing that down for me? Awesome. It's constantly adjusting and figuring based on your position. So it knows if you are leaning, it knows your speed, your direction, everything that's happening. It knows what's going on inside your motorcycle. So if, again, you're going through a corner, you actually gas it, the bike knows that you're in a corner based on your lean angle, and it will cut down on the amount of power that's going to your rear wheel because you accidentally gassed it when you shouldn't have gassed it. Now with the rain mode, that's much more sensitive, obviously, because it knows that you're in rain mode, you're taking the corner. Obviously there's going to be a little more slippage because it's not a dry surface. It's going to react to keep you safe. And of course, for some folks that don't want traction control at all, you can turn it off. The bike does have to be running, and then you just click and hold it. It'll pop up and it will stay on rather than just flashing. But if you click and hold it, that turns on. It's turned off with the light on, and you don't have to have traction control at all if you don't want to. Questions? Good? All right. Number 4. Oh, trust me, you can still do burnouts with RDRS. Drag. Sorry for my incredible handwriting. The next one is drag torque slip control. So think of traction control again is when you are accelerating. Drag torque slip control is when you are decelerating. So if you're going through a corner, and I mean I've seen it before, people will downshift in a corner, and when you that's when you hear that chirp and it causes a heart attack. That again, the IMU will know that you're in a corner. It'll know you're doing something out of the ordinary, and that will kick in so you don't have that chirp, you don't have that slip or anything like that. That system kicks in because you have done something that was out of the ordinary to keep you safe. So again, traction control is when you are accelerating, and then drag torque slip control is when you are decelerating. Now we have number 5, which is cornering enhanced ABS.
This is sweet.
So ABS, 2014 and newer touring bikes have a system called reflex linked ABS. So when every time you turn the bike on, ABS light flashes at you because it's not on under 3 miles an hour. You start rolling above 20, 25 is when it becomes linked. So let's say you're doing 50 miles an hour cruising down the road, and for some reason all deer love to do it. Deer jump out in front of you, and that split second you slam on that front brake, your rear ABS kicks on. It also applies your rear brakes. If you're cruising down the road, you do the same thing, but you slam on your rear brakes, it'll actually activate your front left caliper, and then give you that time that you can actually grab your front brakes as well to bring you to a nice controlled stop. Now what the cornering enhanced ABS does for you, it uses again your inertia measurement unit. Now, when you're going through a corner and you're braking, or after braking, but if you're going through a corner, both your tires should actually be going at different speed from the other. ABS wants you just to come to a complete stop, and obviously, so if you're going through a corner and you're braking, that ABS is kind of like, hey, we're coming to a stop. We just need to make you stop. What the cornering enhanced does is it knows that your tires should not be going the same speed. So if you slam on that front brake, the system will take over and apply the appropriate amount of brakes that you should actually come to that stop. So you won't have, obviously you won't have your lockup, and you won't have, that split moment of fear. The skid. Exactly. Exactly. So again, cornering enhanced ABS, you get into that corner, you slam on it, the bike's going to adjust for you. And on the flip side of that, if you don't put enough into it, the inertia measurement unit is going to sense that you're doing something that you need more. And it's going to kick in and it's going to help you as well. Okay? So those are the 5 features. Vehicle enhanced, vehicle hold control. So you're sitting on a hill, you squeeze that front brake, it'll hold you there for up to 5 minutes. Take your hand off and relax. Actually, one thing I forgot about that, sorry folks. Anyone that has the bike in a trailer and you're unloading it, one of the big things when we first sold the 2020 that had RDRS on it was like, well, what happens? I grab that front brake and I'm backing you out of the trailer. The bike, again, has to be in first gear. So if you are backing the bike out of the trailer and you're in neutral, that hold control won't kick over, so you still have full control backing it out. Okay? Again, then you have TPMS, so it'll tell you your tire pressure appropriately. Then you have your traction control, which kicks in, again, as you're accelerating. Drag torque control is for when you're decelerating. And then cornering enhanced ABS for when you're braking and you need something. Yes?
Be on too, right?
The bike does have to be on. Yes. Yes, that's correct.
I back mine out of my trailer, if it's raining out, it skids down.
Right.
Front brake on, you know?
Yep.
So I always leave it in first gear and I use the...
Gotcha. Well, again, so if you want to actually try it, you have to pull it and you can actually feel it click. Yeah, you'll feel it right in your hand, but you do have to give it a tight squeeze. So if you're just like feathering it, it won't.
You can also do it with the rear brake. If you get a firm push on the rear brake, it'll do the same thing.
Yep. There we go. And that's a quick rundown of RDRS. So again, okay.
Just a big thing to remember is it's not going to do anything that you're not putting into the motorcycle, right?
Right.
The biggest misconception that I found is that people think it's going to take over your riding. That's not the case at all. Actually, it's the exact opposite. It's going to enhance it. So, like Mike was kind of getting at, you do have to apply either front or rear brake for it to kick in, and it'll know whether you're doing it too much. It's not going to kick in front or rear brake if you're going around a corner and you don't apply any at all. It's not going to interfere with your ability to ride. Normally, if anything, it's just going to keep you a little bit safer on the roads and avoid that accidental, everyone here has probably felt their heart go into their stomach for a second. It's just going to avoid that. Right. Exactly. So that'll help with that. So that's the biggest thing to remember. And I got nothing. Perfect. Beautiful.
You guys have any questions for us or anything? Right.
Yes. A little bit of a question on the traction control or whatever.
Yes.
You're going around a corner. It doesn't have to be raging.
That's correct.
You're over speed for that corner. So you hit your brake. Now, because of the inertia, is it gonna just slow me down, or is it gonna stop me?
No, it'll just slow you down. Yeah. It won't. It's not going to take over and bring you a
So
complete
it's looking
stop.
at the speed, wheel speed, plus the inertia, plus.
Yes.
Stop you from walking your brakes out.
Exactly.
If you squeeze your brake real hard, it's still going to just slow you down and let off.
Right.
But it's
Exactly.
a pretty good feature.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no,
That's for
I've
sure.
just learned a couple of times you got up in the corner a little too fast, grab your brake, slow down.
Yeah. Exactly.
Little badass.
It's a little sharper than what you think.
Exactly. We've all done that. Like coming up over the notch. Yeah. Get a little too excited.
Right there. There's always a car coming around the corner. Oh man, here we go.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Awesome. Anything else? Exactly. And that's the worst thing, right? I mean, that's perfect.
No, it can't be. RDRS is a $9.95, and again, it does have to come straight from the factory. Yeah, it's not something that can be added to the bike at the shop or anything like that. There's a calibration that has to happen at the factory. Yep. Yep.
On the Ultras?
Yes. Yep. You can get them on from the Road King all the way up through the touring line.
I come home with a bike and then be living with you, so the old lady's going to
I got space. I got space. Perfect.
I already told everybody here, whoever sells me a bike's got to give me a phone to go with it.
I have a couple friends down in Barre, and so Chris and Renita. Are you still recording this? Because they'll love this if you are. So Chris and Renita. Every time that Chris wants to come to Wilkins, Renita will almost always post on our Facebook page. Chris is not to buy anything. He's not to hang out with Mike, and he can say hello to Mike. But that's it. That's the extent. And I'm like, it's not okay. It's not bad to come see me, okay? Yeah. But, oh yeah, too much fun. Well, perfect. Thanks, guys. There we go. Absolutely. Yep. And if you guys have any other questions, obviously we're here. Just reach out. We're always happy to help, okay? All right. Perfect. Thank you, guys.